Welcome to Missouri Sports Talk. I'm your host, Cameron Staley. Today I'm here with
Dain Almquist.
Dain. You're from Rockbridge, so this kind of looks a little bit funny. So I was at that game against Elias, so I do have to say this was planned back in August, right? This is like a preseason thing, so I'm not switching sides on Elias. Never really actually technically was on their side. I try to kind of keep it neutral, but for the Elias fans, this wasn't a backstab kind of thing trying to get you on. This was already planned to have you on. So I appreciate you sticking through it. And especially it makes it easier after a win as well. So, and a good win too. So let's go ahead. Let's get to it. We're going to do the hot seat first. So you have 60 seconds to answer these 10 questions rapid fire. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. I'll give you 3, 2, 1, and then I'll ask the first question. All right. 3, 2, 1. Favorite food?
Lasagna.
Favorite place to travel?
Probably the fridge, to be honest.
Favorite animal?
Going lab.
Least favorite sport?
Cricket.
What's the hardest position in your sport?
I would say QB or star safety.
Okay. Favorite song?
Probably Puppet Master by Metallica.
Do you have a bucket list item?
Travel to Greece.
Pre-game ritual?
Left sock, right sock.
Okay. Least favorite sports team? Any sport?
Can't really think of one. Probably the Bears.
Okay. And who's your inspiration?
Probably my head coach. The first day I met him was there for me. And then just kind of from there, he had open arms towards me, and he's always showed love. So everything I do is like he's in that circle of people I do things for. So it's him, my mom, and just like anybody else. But it's like him and my mom are who I try the most for.
Right. All right. So you went to Hickman freshman year. It was sophomore year that you transferred over, right? Okay. So tell me a little bit about that going to Hickman freshman year.
It was pretty bad. I was a problematic child, I would say, there. Got 3 fights, 2 in one semester, and the third one was at the end of my second semester, and it was like beforehand during football season we're like, Hickman is not the place I want to be at for football. I hope that I can have a future somewhere else. And it was like, well, let's try Rockbridge. And it was before we knew Vanetta was leaving. Vanetta left like February, March of that year. Coach Alvis comes up to me and he's trying to, hey, they don't really have a coach over there. Do you really want to take that chance leaving us now? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, I got kicked off the team during the playoffs. Of course I'm going to leave.
Right.
But it was kind of like, eventually he came over, and I'm blessed that he's over there. I mean, I got it pinned on my Twitter, but if it says, if Jesus didn't hate the men that killed him, why should I hate the man that doesn't kill me? And all the coaching staff at Rockbridge knew that it was me throwing it at him. It was like it was pointed at him, and I believe he knew it at the time too. But it's like now I used to hate him. It was week 8 was circled on my calendar, sophomore and junior year, especially playing at Hickman my junior year. Wore a shirt that said had a picture of Alvis on my shoulders like a child, and his little saying #smile on. I put #still smiling ? And my coach was like, you better not pull that shirt out after you make a play. And I'm like, I'm not. And I was like, but it was just like, now that he's over there, I actually found a loving to him, and I'm grateful that he came over and that we actually have a relationship now.
When did you start playing football?
Shoot, 5 years old. It was about flag football. I've been playing 12. Going to be, if we make it to state, it'll be 13 years.
So what is your love for this sport?
I love brotherhood about it. That's like biggest thing about high schools. I've learned that even my senior quote says it. It's blood doesn't determine who you call a brother. And it's like there's a kid named that's a sophomore. His name's Barrett. And freshman year, he came in freshman year. I was a junior. I remember it fondly. It was we're front squat maxing. I hit 4 plates, and I saw the freshman come in. I yelled, which one of you is Armbuster? Because I didn't know how to properly pronounce his name. It was him, and I remember he thought he was in so much trouble with me. But that was the day I pretty much just like I kind of like took him under my wing, and I was just like, and since then he's been like a little brother to me, and I feel like we have a great relationship, and I hope that it will last. But I feel like he's my little brother.
So I like to hear that as well. So what positions have you been playing your whole entire life?
I think I've played every position but corner and safety from like around middle schools where they're like, well, this kid's 6'1", 6'2", let's put him at receiver. Now at West, LaDamian Washington couldn't find a big enough jersey for me, so that's where 69 came from. It was because it was the biggest jersey that West had for the time.
So let's talk a little bit about your high school career as we come in. So we talked a little bit about freshman year, but let's talk about on the field that freshman year. Were you getting any sort of playing time on varsity, or is this more of a JV developmental year?
I didn't do JV team. I don't know if we even had JV. We always our freshman games were always away from the school, but I got 3 reps that year. I got 3 reps on varsity at left guard, and I remember Jaden, forget his name, I think it was Jaden Woods. He said, "Don't F it up," and I was like, well, and I got a pancake first place, so that was always a memory of mine too. I got a pancake over there.
So that ended up being a 3-7 year for Hickman. Not the greatest. It's been a little bit since they've had some crazy success. Now, they are on a 2-game win streak, and obviously not the greatest teams in the world, but it's nice to see Conyers, trying to put something together after that 90 point loss. or they didn't lose by 90, but they let Elias drop 90 on them in, what was that, week 2? It was kind of looking a little shady, right? Like, it was like, okay, well, what's going on there for Hickman this year? But they've rattled off 2 more. I'd say realistically it may be 3 or 4 wins for him, but it's year 1, and he took over a really rough team. Honestly, like they've got Carter Holiday and they got Brock Camp, and
I mean, I used to think with Alvis being over there before Alvis left, I always thought it was like, oh, it's the coaching staff. I was like, look at Matthew Perkins and Ethan Smith and Alex Harrell. They come over now. Granted, Harrell came over my junior year, but Coach Smith and Coach Perk come over with some of the returning Rockbridge staff, and it's like we won conference and we're runner-ups in the district playoffs, and I was like, oh, well, it's got to be their coaching staff over there. But now that Conyers is over there, he switched up a fair amount of their coaching staff. I can now believe it's the players and the environment that they have over there. I feel that the biggest downfall of teams, and I'll say it's for my team too, is discipline. You guys got to learn to actually play the game and not talk on the field. It's like, go hit your guy, go knock your guy over, go pancake him, go tackle him. Keep your mouth shut and let the play roll.
With that being said, though, Brock Camp probably maybe even top 10 player in the state right now for seniors. So, 4 touchdowns, Brock. If you see this, 4 tutties on Friday. That, obviously against Smith Cotton, but that's still 4. That's a 4-piece, and that's hard to do against any team. So, good work to Brock. So let's go ahead. Let's transition into sophomore year. That's your first year at Rockbridge. They ended up going 9-3, as you said, district runner up to DeSmet. So were you getting any sort of an up in your role this year?
Oh, yes. So we were at Evangel Camp. I was a rotator amongst Jeremy Anderson, Isoso Ohanba, and it was me. And, well, Iso had just come in, and I shucked my guy over to the right. Well, the guy trips and rolls or something. Well, guy rolls up on his ankle pretty much and snapped it right there. And it was like, from there, it was just kind of like, I hate that the event happened. I wish he had his senior year of football, but it kind of opened up my door for my little run.
Right. So junior year, this is where you take a starting role completely, right? So sophomore year, you got a complete starting role?
Sophomore year, first game, I was starting, and it was just like there was one game that I didn't produce enough, and it was going into the Francis Howell, I believe. and my coach had held me out for a drive, and then they just put me back in. But it was one game that I missed because I didn't perform well enough. And from there, I've kept my act straight on performing.
So junior year, you guys end up going 9-3. You guys win some pretty big games. In technicality, it was 8-4 though. That Park Hill South game, week 1, you guys lost. That turns into a forfeit win. So in the record books, you guys went 9-3. Technically 8-4, but we'll say it's a 9-win season because really, it is, because in the record books it says 9 wins. So how was that year?
Honestly, probably the most I actually absorbed my team. I was super happy to do that. I was like, okay, this is my, I was going into the season and I was like, all right, this is our team. And I believe Sam Kaiser was starting that game, week 1. Feels like an eternity ago last season. But, yeah, no, Sam was starting it. And when I first came over my sophomore year, I felt that, it shows now, but Brady's a top-level QB and wish he had been in that game. But it was just our biggest problem, I feel, with every game is coming out hot. And we're better this season about is we start off hot, and it's pretty much I feel that first 5 minutes of a game dictates the entire game. It's which team is coming out more dominant.
So stats from this junior year from you, you had 39 tackles and 3 sacks, as well as an conference honorable mention. So overall, a pretty solid year. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about this year. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's kind of go game by game. So these first 2 weeks, week 1, you guys go to Park Hill, right? And that is a 46-45, 3 overtime loss.
Yeah, sadly, I was out with pneumonia that week, and along with week 2, I was out. But I was rooting for it, and I felt bad that I couldn't even listen to the game because of how upset I wasn't able to be there for my team. And to be honest, the guys that stepped up out there, it was hard-fought victory. Loss, I guess, but still in my book, it's a win. You lose by 1 point in triple overtime. I feel that in a way that team just lucked out over us.
So week 2, Smith Cotton 50-0. Not a lot to say there. Week 3, this one surprised me. I went with the conservative pick. I remember I took you guys by 13, thinking that JC had a pretty rough first 2 weeks, but I didn't really know for certain how they're going to be this year because it's hard to tell right away. So I took you guys by 13. It ends up being 63-6 in that game.
Yeah, to be honest, I saw the banners for the game, National Game of the Week, I believe it was. Somewhere on there, I believe it said National High School Game of the Week, and I was like, crap. I was like, I haven't been paying attention to F City, but on film they weren't looking like I knew on my guys. I wish I brought my journal. I could have shown you, but in my journal I take my little notes and I'm like I debunk everything on every player, and it's their edge end was runs the hoop. That's all he does. Doesn't have an inside move. The other end did. But with that, with their tackle, and their end, I put down pancakes. That's all you have to worry about. It's as soon as you get to the guy, it's going to be a pancake on him.
So pretty good win. So week 4, this is homecoming for you guys against Capital City. You guys end up winning 25-13 in this game.
Yeah, no, it was kind of worried going into it. I wish that. I feel our team did well, actually. I don't wish anything. I wish we could have put up more. But going into it, I was like, well, Cap City, we know they've been running the same thing for X amount of years. I know for the last 2 years that I played them, we call it old head football. It's run veer, and it's just run it up the gut and just keep pounding it. And that's really what they did to us. And it was my coaches had me in at rotation because they wanted me 100% on offense, but they still rotated me in. And it was one set that I went in was back-to-back tackles. They ran it right to me. And then I learned when they subbed in their other QB that I heard him speak, and he goes left and right. Well, they go the opposite of the way, and so that's what I would just start doing. And then the next set I went in, and it was back-to-back tackles, and I was like, and I told all my other linemen, I was like, well, this is what they're doing. And I'm not sure if I got in anymore after that hat trick on the other one. But from there, it was just like going into it. I knew that our coaches, I was bought in completely. That's our coach's biggest thing is be bought into us and we'll be bought into you. And I had full confidence that we knew what we were doing.
So, honestly, that was a pretty surprising game to me. Their running back, Jalen Thomas, is so spectacular. Like, he can break tackles out of literally anything. He's a top 5 running back in the state currently, in my opinion. Probably, I'd say if you were to rank CMAC players right now, I'd put him at 4 right now. I'd say he's the 4th best player in the CMAC. He's a spectacular guy. He's going to be going D1, I think. I believe he's going to go D1. Junior this year. He had 30 touchdowns last year. So, Cap City, I don't know what it is, but they just kind of play you guys close every single year.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I was confident. Our biggest thing was like, we always, like that coming out hot. You come out hot is no debate. We were coming out hot that game. I think it was the hottest we've ever been. And our biggest thing was always like, guys, this is a big game. We got to watch what we say because I love them to death, but Kerr and Beamer's mouths can sometimes be like, they get a little hot out there and flag will fly and now it's first down and now it's like, well, crap, got to restart it and just find it out. But even coming out hot, I feel that was the hottest I've ever seen the team come out. And we just had to figure out their game plan, and our coaches probably, I would say, easily could go each into the Coaches Hall of Fame in high school. And it's like, just because of how well they recognize what a team does, what their tendencies are, and how to beat it.
So this past Friday, I should say. So we're here Sunday at 9:13 in the morning currently. So this will be up Monday at 5. So for the fans, about 3 days ago now. This is a big game. This is Helias's homecoming. Not only that, Dain, this is the CMAC championship game, presumably. We think it is, as long as you guys don't get upset, which I don't believe you will. But as long as you guys stay strong for the rest of the year, you guys won the CMAC championship on homecoming, on the road. This was definitely not an upset because this is like, if there were betting lines in high school, this is a pick'em game. Like there shouldn't have been a team that was favored in this game. Like this was just about as even as it gets, and obviously it shows because this game goes to overtime, and you guys win on a game-winning touchdown in the back of the end zone. Now, obviously, as I say that, I'm gonna have that play up on the screen. So that was a really crazy play, Davidson to Holt, and the game ends 29-22.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like really hard-fought game. It was 7-7 halftime, and I was like, all right, we get ball. It's just like playing Madden in a way. I feel it's like whoever gets ball a half, kind of like you just have to keep going up from there. And then it was, 15-7. And I remember I'm sitting in our chairs watching our TV, and all I hear is score by a surprising 2-point conversion. I'm like, well, what the heck does that mean? I didn't know how that play worked out until this morning when I saw it on Twitter. I forgot who posted it. But I was like, crap, 15-7. All right, well, we're going to go out there. We're going to score. We got to bring it up and help our defense out. Well, didn't get it done. Didn't get our job done. I forget who it was. I think it was Isaac Beery was out there. But me and him, like, he ankle tapped him, and I hit the guy out of bounds on the punt return because I'm on the punt shield. And it was like, all right, I secured that one. And then I think we stopped him that drive, got the ball back, and I was like, all right. I spoke to Brady. I was like, Brady, you're real close to clicking. Just needs one final piece to pop right in. And just everything was slightly off. But that's pretty much just like every game. It's like you just got to figure out what's going on, and you got to recognize it. And then they get ball back. It's 23-7, and I'm like, crap. I was like, Lord, please let us have a victory out of this. And everything just started clicking in. Gosh, Brady, every time I saw Brady run, I was like, please just don't get killed out there. I was like, well, I get we dress all of our QBs, but please don't get hurt out there. I really want you to be fine because I love Brady. Brady's a great guy. I'd say Brady is probably one of the best high school players I've ever seen. And I mean, I guess like it shows in his family, long line of family of athletes. I mean, cousins at Harvard right now, Sam Kaiser. He's related to Drew Lock, and then we got Addie Morris also there. Big family of athletes, but every time he ran, I just see him like in my head. I'm like, that's a playmaker, especially that game-tying touchdown. I was like, gosh, just please. I was like, if you're gonna get hurt, make sure you get in that end zone.
So honestly, Dain, the offenses, they started really stagnant in this game. Mm-hmm. It was get down the field to around the 40-yard line, the other 40, and looking like you're gonna score, and all of a sudden it poops out, and it was punt. It ends up being 7-7 going into halftime. So I'm not gonna call anybody out. I had not the greatest interaction with a Elias member. I won't say player or staff. So I used to really not like Elias when I was in high school, and I don't really know what it was. I just didn't like him. But
Bet it's the Blair Oaks.
But it slowly faded away, and I can confidently say now that I'm fine with them. Like I definitely have no hate towards them. But when that happened to me, it was like war vet PTSD hit. It was like snap, and all of a sudden I was like, God, I fucking hope you guys lose so bad. And then it went to 15-7, and it was 22-7. And I was like, oh man, okay, I guess they're gonna win. They're gonna get homecoming. And then it was 22-15, and then it was 22-22, and I'm like, ooh. And you guys ended up getting that win, so I was very, very happy with that one.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully my coaches will watch this and see my apology. I did throw my helmet about 35 feet up in the air, something like that. You could see it land in the clip probably that he posted earlier, but busted out the back of the helmet. It's fixed now. I should say that. Velcro piece came out along with the plastic, and I had to yell for some other kid because we're doing the handshake, walking down. Refs come over, blowing the whistle, like, y'all got to stop. Due to overtime rules, we still have to go for a PAT or a 2-point conversion. I'm like, and I've already shed my happy tears. I'm already crying. Senior year, just beat out Elias, conference champions. We're on the road to get a nice little hat that says, on the top it says 2024 conference champions, district champions, state champions. And I was like, because we got the hats last year, and I was like, man, I wish we won conference so we could say all of our awards on it, like what we won. But it was, threw the helmet up. I'm like, crap, well, I see some kid. It was Evan. I was like, Evan, give me your helmet. I need it for PAT. And I gave him my busted helmet. I threw his little thing on. I'm tucking his little chin straps up in there because they're too big for me. And I'm like, crap. And I was like, hopefully the refs just don't see it. And, we kicked it. And I was like, well, now I can't cry my happy tears over because I had already stopped it.
You can't throw that helmet up in the air, too.
Oh, let me tell you, I went up to Evan, and I was like, Evan, I'm going to throw it again. He was like, you better not throw it.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's talk about the rest of the season. We've got 4 games left, just crossed over the halfway mark of the regular season. Next week, you've got Camdenton at home. How are you feeling about this game?
I'm really confident. I mean, don't get me wrong, Camdenton seems like they have the potential to be a good team, but they're just not there yet, I feel. What's their record this year?
I believe they're sitting at 2-2 right now, maybe 3-1.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they should have.
They're 2-2. They're 2-2.
They should have a 5-number record.
Oh right. Oh shoot. Yeah. Now you got me thinking. Hold on. So keep talking. I will get the record up here.
But no, I think they have the potential. I see their film on their QB because when we were watching Highest film, I was also taking notes on Camdenton offense, and I was like, well, let's see what they do. Their QB's got that. He's got the potential, but the QB's just not accurate. he's just no Brady Davidson right now.
Right. So they're sitting at 3-2 right now. Big win week 1 at JC. Went to Branson, lost that one 35-14. Beat Smith Cotton at home, lost 38-8 to Elias at home, and then this past Friday they went to Battle and won 20-0.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like, I guess, like, you have a week to change it. Better get to it, I guess. But I really don't see them coming out on top of that game. I believe, what was their score against Jeff City, if you saw? I mean, you don't have to look.
I think it was 53-28, if I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, ours was 50-6 on Jeff City, so they let up more points than we did on from Jeff City. So I'm confident in our coaches. I'm confident in our defense. We just have to be bought in going in this week, and it's just another Smith Cotton game, I feel.
So week 7 and 8, at Battle and then Hickman at home. So whatever with those.
It's just another day for us.
Right. Week 9, you guys go to Francis Howell. Now, they are not looking the best this year, but they're still kind of a sleeper team. So what are your thoughts on this one? I don't want to say this is a trap game, but this may sort of be somewhat of a trap game.
God, I hope we win, because it's like, I mean, I played Francis Howell my freshman year also, so it's last 3 years I've lost to Francis Howell. Last year should have been a win. Joey Scardina, I love him. That kick was all his, but minor mistake. Blocked his kick. We could see the angle on it. Would have went in. I mean, he's over at West Point now. He shows that he's a good kicker, but it was just minor mistakes will set us back, and we just have to kind of snip it in the butt so those mistakes don't happen going in that game.
So a little bit of playoff talk. The district consists of you guys, Troy Buchanan, St. Dominic, Hickman, Francis House, Central. So, I'm not really certain about any of those teams if they would be able to beat you guys. Troy is currently sitting at number 1 in the district. I don't know once it updates after this week if you guys will flip since you beat Elias. But even if Troy has home field, I really think that you guys get through this district.
Yeah. Our coach announced that in the game. I believe it was either halftime or post game, but I think it was halftime. But Troy, he said they're looking like a solid team, and I was like, well, I guess when we get the districts, it won't just be another cakewalk this year. I mean, DeSmet's a great team, but once DeSmet left, it kind of just like one powerhouse took over from the old powerhouse when they left.
Right, and actually, if you guys make it out of districts, DeSmet is the one that is waiting for you guys in the state quarterfinals. So I don't know if you knew that, but there's the heads up there.
Yeah.
You guys, your sophomore and junior year, you lost to DeSmet in the playoffs. So you guys may get that third chance to make it right. So I guess we'll see with that. Okay, Dain. So your goals for the end of the season, personally and team. What do you have going on here?
I want my guys to get recognized. That's my biggest goal. Myself too, but I've always been not like a selfless person. I'll never say that I'm a selfless person, but I want the best for everybody to come out of things, and I want like all my guys, Devin Holt, Dre, Derek, Riley. I want everybody to get recognized and seen like that these are some guys that a college can pick up and make into stars. Brady even, like, I know Brady's committed to NIU, but if Brady even has, like, he's like, oh, I want to go higher than NIU, I want that to be a thing for him. Like, if he wants to follow in Cousins' foot tracks, Drew, if he wants that Mizzou offer and he becomes that hometown hero.
That's exactly what I was about to say, that hometown offer. I don't know, but I think personally NIU I think is a good spot for him. So we'll see what goes on for him. So let's talk about your recruiting process. How has it been so far, and are you looking at any sort of interest right now?
I've had a lot of schools. Like, kind of story of every high school's life is I've had a lot of schools reach out to me and they're watching film, but excuse me. We got several offers, one from Truman State, Central Missouri, Northwest Missouri State, and then Missouri Southern. And it's like I have several schools outside them, and they're like kind of just like I said, story of every high schooler's life. They're watching film. They're like, we're going to pull the trigger on this kid. And I got schools that want me for offense, schools that want me for defense. So it's just like, kind of got to see how the cards roll from there.
So even if you don't have that offer yet, who's kind of sitting at the top of your list right now? If you can give me a few teams.
Central Missouri, South Dakota State is one of those teams that they're wanting to watch my film. And I've been out there for a few times with them. I've met with the coaches. The coaches and I will talk every once in a while, just see how things are going. But they plan on, if they like what they see with defense, they want to offer me for defense there. And then, but outside of them, it's South Dakota State, Truman State, and then Central Missouri. And Central Missouri and Truman State are my two biggest, like, what do I want? Because I got Truman State. They got a great criminology program there, along with Central Missouri, but also former D-line coach, or still a D-line coach, but former Bulldog. He's kind of a guy that I've looked up to also, and so it's kind of like, if I do it, it's not only for myself, but I know I'd be making him proud. But then you got Central Missouri there, number 6 last year in Division II. So from there, it's just, I got to see what I want.
Right. So you touched on the criminology thing. That's actually our last question. Let's just go ahead and talk about it now. So that's kind of your major in career that you're looking at?
Yeah, I plan to be law enforcement. A lot of my family is law enforcement. None that are blood related, really. Like I said, blood doesn't determine family, but that's how my family is. It's just I got 2 uncles that my dad met when he was 7, and then I got grandparents that were like my grandfather's like ex-wife now, because he passed when my dad was a child. But my grandmother there, but my grandfather, he was a fire marshal, and along with like an arsonist investigator. So it's like just everybody around me is like law enforcement. My mom was an MP in the military, so I want to be a cop too. And it's going from there. It's just either I go straight to being a cop, working somewhere around to ease the time to 21, or I go straight to college after high school and pick up. My plan is to undergrad in forensics and then major in criminal behavior studies.
So our last question. Also, thank you for coming on the show, of course. What are your goals for college?
Goals for college, Division I. That's always been my dream since I was 5 years old. I want to go be Division I. That's why I'm hoping for a big, like, kind of like out of the corner, out of left field, like, hey, we're here to offer you. And I'm like, thank God. It's always God's plan for me. It's what he wants and what he has planned for me.
Well, that South Dakota State offer would do it for you.
Yeah, back-to-back FCS national champs. And then, they're looking rough this year, but I still believe in them up there.
So, again, thank you for coming on the show. That's all we've got for today. I'd like to stay in touch. Also, say Coach Staley is how you pronounce it, right? Mm-hmm. At Rockbridge, wide receiver coach, right?
Yep.
Probably going to have him on as well. So, Chris, if you see this, that's coming soon, maybe in the upcoming weeks. So, stay tuned for that. We'll have some more Rockbridge talk here. But that's all we've got for today. This has been Missouri Sports Talk. See you next time.